Assalamu alaikum everybody, and a very warm welcome back to another video here on the Arabic in 60 Steps YouTube channel. My name's Sam, and I'm the Arabic teacher around here. Hope you guys are very well today, so without further ado, let's get into it. So this is actually day 5 in our 10-day countdown to our reopen of the Arabic in 60 Steps program on the 1st of June this year, 2021. So what we're doing in this particular lesson is we're going over sort of the 5th question that we have around, the things that Arabic in 60 Steps students, they have as a little bit of a hurdle. I don't want to say they're kind of issues with the program, or I don't want to say that they are, gaps in things that we don't teach. I'm not really filling in gaps in the teaching here. They're just things that, I very often have students come to me and ask about. So this one in particular is about these sound plural endings. So in Arabic, we have these masculine sound plural endings where we add una onto the end of the word, or ina onto the end of the word, depending on whether the word is marfu', which in its singular usually means it has a dhamma on the end, for the una ending, and then for the ina ending, a word which is either majroor, what that normally means is that it has a kasra on the end and it's singular, or it's mansoob. What that normally means is that there's a fatha on the end and it's singular. So these are the endings, una and ina. And what we've been learning up until this point in the program is that typically words that are indefinite, they tend to have un on the end. So, what we'd expect is on the end of a indefinite word, we would have en, or we would have in, if it's majroor or mansoob, and, two dhammas if it's marfu'. That's what we normally expect, right? But quite often students, they forget that these una endings, they do not show their definiteness in any way on the end of the word. On the end of the word, they never ever express their definiteness. So when we're using these particular endings, the only way you can tell the difference between saying, for example, Muslims and the Muslims, or believers and the believers, is just with the L at the beginning. There's no expression of that on the end of the word. So I'll show you an example. So in this case, the singular, we might have the word muslimun. Muslimun in the singular. The plural would be muslimuna. Muslimuna. And the definite would be al-muslimuna. I can literally just copy and paste that very word. I can just copy and paste that word, al-muslimuna. There's no difference at all. We would normally expect our indefinite to be something like that. Al-muslimunun. That's not a word in Arabic. You don't say muslimunun for the indefinite and muslimuna, al-muslimuna for the definite. You don't do that, right? The ending for both of them is identical. I'm going to put it in blue so it's nice and clear for us to see. This una in blue. Good, so I'll demonstrate that exact same thing with the other cases as well. So rather than having muslimun down here, what we would have would be, it would either be muslimin with 2 kasras, or it would be muslimen, right? I don't need to write the whole word out again, but I'll just put a dash there. It would either be muslimin or muslimun. The ending would be exactly the same as muslimuna, except it will be, in this case, muslimina. Let me change this wow to a yeah. So when you're doing i'rab as well, when you're explaining to me, for the students who are in the later stages of the program, where you're explaining to me in Arabic why something is the case, I mean, we kind of get used to saying that there is a, for example, in this case, like if something's majroor, if something's mansoob, we get into the habit of saying that it's whatever it is, mansoob, wa alamatul nasbihi, and the symbol of its nasb is a fatha muqaddara ala akhirihi. Is what we get used to saying. We used to get used to saying that it's like a clear. There's a visible fatha on the end, right? That's how we know that it's mansoob. But in this case, it's not because of the fatha on the end. It's because of the ya. Like the ya in there is the way of us knowing its case. Good. Muslimuna, and then as I say, muslimina rather, and then as I say the definite, we'd just take the word muslimina and we'd put l at the beginning. The only difference, categorically the only difference between definite and indefinite when we use the sound plural of the masculine is alif and lam at the beginning. There's no reflection of that on the end. This is not the case for the feminine sound plural. For the feminine sound plural at, if we were to have the word Muslim, we demonstrate with the word Muslim, we have the word al-muslimatu, al-muslimatu, you can have one dhamma on the end of al-muslimatu, and if you didn't have the L, it would be on the end. It would be muslimatun. You can absolutely do that, right? Like with the feminine sound plural, you can put tanween on the end, but you do not do that with the masculine sound plural. So that's just a little bit of a tweak to give you guys once you see it a few times. It doesn't take too much practice, but sometimes it is a little hurdle that as we move so quickly through the Arabic in 60 Steps program, sometimes it's something that students overlook. And we end up seeing sometimes things like mu'minunan or mu'minunin or mu'minunun, you know, in some of the later parts of the program. So I thought we'd just iron that out before we move on anymore, inshallah. So that's everything for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to like and share this video, and please come back and join me tomorrow. And it will only be 4 days to go until our reopening of the Arabic in 60 Steps program at that point. So that'll be lesson 6 in this little series that we're doing as part of the countdown. See you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.